Good morning everyone. Today we will learn how to draw the brachial plexus. But before we learn how to draw the brachial plexus, we should know कि brachial plexus होता क्या है. Brachial जो term है, it is derived from brachium, which means arm. And you people all know what is plexus. Plexus is a tuft, whether of a vessel or of a nerve. The tuft of the nerves which supplies the arm, that is the upper limb, is called as the brachial plexus. The tuft of the nerves which supplies the arm is called as the brachial plexus. It is formed from number 1 roots, second trunks, number 3 is divisions, number 4 is cords, and number 5 is branches. We will discuss it one by one. Brachial plexus is formed from roots, trunks, divisions, cords and branches. कौन कौन सी roots आती हैं? Ventral rami of C5, C6, C7, C8 and T1. ये होता क्या है C5, C6, C7, C8, T1? You people all know we have a higher controlling center. This is called as the brain, है ना? This is called as brain. And below we have the spinal cord, isn't it? Below we have the spinal cord till the level of lower border of L1 or the upper border of L2, and we have the cerebellum here. अब पूरी स्पाइनल कॉर्ड से निकलती हैं स्पाइनल नर्व्स, ठीक है, दोनों साइड्स of the right side as well as of the left side. There are 31 pairs of spinal nerves. कितने पेयर्स होते हैं? 31 पेयर्स. 31 ऑन राइट साइड एंड 31 ऑन द लेफ्ट साइड. जिसमें जो अपर वाली होती हैं वो होती हैं सर्वाइकल, देन वी हैव थोरेसिक, देन वी हैव लंबर, देन वी हैव सैक्रल एंड देन वी हैव कॉक्सीजियल. सर्वाइकल होती हैं 8, thoracic 12, then we have lumbar 5, we have sacral 5 and we have coccygeal 1. 12 plus 8, 20, 30 and 31. We have 31 pairs of spinal nerves. Now we will take a section at this level and we will see the spinal cord as well as the nerves emerging out from the cervical region to demonstrate the brachial plexus. Isn't it? Now what do we mean by ventral rami of C5, C6, C7, C8 and T1? When we see the spinal cord, it has a fissure anteriorly which is called as anterior median fissure, and it has a septum posteriorly, and the gray matter inside in the form of H and a central canal. Now this whole is the gray matter and this one is the white matter. Posterior वाला part होता है sensory, anterior part होता है motor. Sensory, it receives the dorsal root ganglion. Here is the dorsal root ganglion, a central process and peripheral process, and this is the ventral root. This is the dorsal root and this is the ventral root. Both joints to form the spinal nerve. अब ये अलग अलग लेवल पे बनती है C1 से लेकर कॉक्सीजियल तक, ठीक है. This is the spinal nerve. This spinal nerve divides into two parts. Ventral ramus. This is called as ventral ramus and posteriorly is called as dorsal ramus. जो ब्रेकियल प्लेक्सस बनता है वो C5 से लेकर T1 के वेंट्रल रेमस से बनता है. इट इज फॉर्म्ड बाय द वेंट्रल रेमस ऑफ C5, C6, C7, C8 एंड T1. इतना क्लियर है? As it is clear that the brachial plexus is formed from the ventral rami of C5, C6, C7, C8 and T1, ठीक है। C5 और C6 ज्वाइन करते हैं, the C5 and C6 joins, C7 remains single, C8 and T1 also joins. अब C5 plus C6 joins to form the upper trunk, C7 forms the middle trunk, whereas union of C8 and T1 forms the lower trunk. This is upper trunk, this is middle trunk, and this is lower trunk. Now each trunk divides into two divisions, the ventral division and the dorsal division. The ventral division and the dorsal division. The ventral division and the dorsal division. Upper trunk, middle trunk and the lower trunk, तीनों trunks divide करती हैं दो divisions में, ventral, dorsal, ventral, dorsal, ventral and dorsal. Now तीनों D को join कर दो. Join the three Ds. 1D, the second D and the third D. This will form the posterior cord. This will form the posterior cord. ठीक है। अब दोनों V को ज्वाइन कर दो, ज्वाइन बोथ दी V's, दोनों V's को ज्वाइन कर दो, इट विल फॉर्म दी लेटरल कॉर्ड। बचा क्या? वेंट्रल डिवीजन ऑफ द लोअर ट्रंक, इट विल फॉर्म द medial cord. So the lateral cord is formed from the union of the ventral divisions of the upper trunk as well as the middle trunk. The medial cord is formed only by the ventral division of the lower trunk, whereas the posterior cord is formed by the union of the dorsal divisions of all the three trunks. This is how the cords are formed. Is it clear? Now we have the branches. Now we will discuss the branches. Branches, we have lateral cord. Lateral cord gives branches. One is lateral pectoral to supply the pectoral muscles. Then musculocutaneous. Then we have lateral root of मीडियन नर्व. ठीक है। लेटरल कॉर्ड की ब्रांचेस है लेटरल पेक्टोरल, मस्कुलोक्यूटेनियस एंड लेटरल रूट ऑफ मीडियन नर्व. इसको याद करना है LML से. मीडियल कॉर्ड की ब्रांचेस है M4U. M4U. One is medial pectoral. Then we have medial cutaneous nerve of arm. Then we have medial cutaneous nerve of forearm. Then we have medial root of median nerve. U से ulnar. ठीक है। मीडियल पेक्टोरल जैसे लेटरल पेक्टोरल थी वैसे ही मीडियल पेक्टोरल है, दोनों पेक्टोरल मसल्स को सप्लाई करती हैं. आर्म में मीडियल क्यूटेनियस नर्व, इट इज कॉल्ड मीडियल क्यूटेनियस. वाई? बिकॉज इट सप्लाइज द स्किन. Medial cutaneous nerve of arm. Then we have medial cutaneous nerve of forearm. Forearm की medial side की skin supply. Then we have medial root of median nerve. Now this medial root of median nerve and the lateral root of median nerve, ये दोनों join कर जाती हैं और दोनों मिलके बनाती हैं median nerve. They together will form a nerve. This is called as median nerve. How the median nerve is formed? It is formed by the lateral root of median nerve plus the medial root of median nerve. पता चल गया? And this is ulnar. Now posterior cord की branches आती हैं ULTRA. U for upper subscapular, L for lower subscapular. Then T for thoracodorsal. Thoracodorsal ये सप्लाई करती है latissimus dorsi को. Then we have radial and then we have axillary. These are the branches of the posterior cord of brachial plexus. इसके लिए निमोनिक है ULTRA. Upper subscapular, lower subscapular, thoracodorsal. It is also called as nerve to latissimus dorsi. Then we have radial and axillary. इतना क्लियर है? तो the brachial plexus is found from the C5 roots, trunks, divisions, cords and branches. अब अपर ट्रंक पे दो नर्व्स और आती हैं. That is called as suprascapular nerve, and we have nerve to subclavius. तो this upper trunk of the brachial plexus where the 6 nerves meet. 6 nerves कौन कौन सी है? C5 C6 है. Suprascapular, nerve to subclavius, ventral and dorsal divisions. This point is called as Erb's point. The Erb's point is the point of the upper trunk where the 6 nerves they meet is called as the Erb's point. Sometimes injury occurs at this point resulting in Erb's paralysis. ठीक है. C5, C6 और C7 मिलकर बनाते हैं nerve to serratus anterior, which will supply the serratus anterior muscle. इसकी इंजुरी से it will cause the paralysis to the serratus anterior and finally cause the winging of scapula. This was all about the brachial plexus.